What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Soul Sandy sneaker review from your boy Spence. I am 1/4 of the Soul Sandy Sneaker Podcast. Check us out weekly here at 1 p.m. We do a little premiere preview. It's not a preview. It's a premiere where you kind of get to watch it live with everybody else that's also tuning in right as it comes out. There's a chat function, all good little things like that. Technically, we will be recording at that time usually on Sunday, so we're not there, but it's a cool experience to develop a community among the subscribers. Shout out to all of the subscribers. Like I said, we are at 3.25K and we were on our road to 4K. We got 4 months to hit 4K. 4 months, 4K. Can we do that? I don't know. But we're going to try. Today, we're going to be talking about the Air Jordan 12 French Blue. I haven't heard a whole lot of buzz about this, but I do expect this shoe to be not big, as in resale big, but sell out in most of your foot sites and regular, local stores. I wouldn't expect to find these in a week or two because, at least for my area, back to school starts the next weekend. So these next 10 days are going to be pretty heavy on the footwear buying, especially for kids and men's, like preschool, grade school, and men's. It's gonna be crazy. I'm not looking forward to that at all. So let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about the French Blue Air Jordan 12. So this is not one of the original Air Jordan 12 colors from 1996. Usually that means I wouldn't be talking about this shoe. However, I was urged to go ahead and make a video for these. The original colorways for the Air Jordan 12 in 1996 was Taxi, Playoff, Cherry, Flu Game, and Obsidian, which a lot of people would confuse this with, but is the opposite color blocking of this one. So it's going to be primarily blue with the white at the bottom. So, for now if you didn't know. A lot of people think that these are OGs. A couple months ago, you probably could have confused me into thinking these were OGs just because it's been a cemented classic in most of our pasts or childhoods for a long time, just because of who was wearing this shoe and how it was perceived or portrayed over time. It's definitely been an instant classic. It was an instant classic in 2004. I actually thought it came out in 2003 because Carmelo and Kobe Bryant both wore these on court before the actual general public release. So these are two of the bigger names to wear them, but there are some smaller names. But Kobe obviously famously wore them in, I think Kobe and Carmelo was December of 2003, which is about a month before these came out in 2004. So Kobe wore them with the blue, Lakers jersey outfit, super cool classic uniforms. This was during his sneaker free agency for the 02-03 season. And then Carmelo Anthony, he wore these in his rookie year, 2003, in a December game, I want to say December 2nd, against Michael Jordan. No, against LeBron James. So pretty iconic sneaker moment for the Air Jordan 12 French Blue, just among those two players alone. But there are a few other names that I'm going to go over that wore this shoe as well. So you got the Jordan Brand athletes, which would be Rip Hamilton, Quentin Richardson, and Gary Payton all wore the French Blue 12s. And even in the NCAA, we had Matt Walsh and Salim Stoudemire. So this is a pretty big shoe. This is a staple at the time. Like I said, this is one of the better performance Jordans as far as like materials go. Just inside structurally, it does have a full-length Zoom Air unit and the shank plate at the bottom. So this is popular. I hooped in the Obsidian 12s a lot, actually, indoor and outdoor, and I was really satisfied with the quality overall, except for the leather outside. It just doesn't look very good after playing in it. And obviously the shape of some of the 12s over time has been a little wonky, not necessarily what we used to have. So other than that, you know, like there's always this little bubble right here, and then this doesn't do very well creasing wise. The leather's always super tumbled, but that just doesn't. It doesn't. This is not a. It's like the Harden before the Harden, like that new Harden that creases so bad. This was like that before that. But it is a good hoop shoe though. So all in all, if you're looking for a good hoop shoe, and you got a few bucks, you can look like Kobe Bryant or Carmelo Anthony. But so. This is not the original box that this Air Jordan 12 came in. This is the original Air Jordan 12 box from 1996. However, I think there would have been a Jumpman right here at that time. But these did release in the silver face box from the 2000s era re-release of Jordans. Not the black face box that did come with the Rare Air 3 and Rare Air 4s, but the silver face box that is from the early 2000s era Air Jordan retros. So this was one of the first retros of the 12 in 2004. We have seen this pair again in 2016. Only thing that is really different is maybe like a little bit of color disparity, so just not the exact same Pantones or shades of the French blue, but everything else is pretty much the same. 12s don't get a weird treatment with the Nike Air on the back because there's no Nike Air. Or usually everything is pretty much the same. Sometimes they may change these little plastic pieces. These are plastic. These are not metal. I don't know when we're ever going to get that again. But usually 12s get the same thing. This might have a different shape than the previous two releases, and I don't know how this shape would compare to a 1996 Air Jordan 12, because it's kind of hard to tell just because of how like strongly these get laced in the factory. So that part is a little shady. I can't give you too much insight on that, but there also was a sample colorway that was debuted. It looked like in a magazine or like some kind of article or blog, but it was never released to the public. So it was basically this, but it had royal blue here instead, and it did have red on this tab, just a little bit more red. So that was the French blue that we never got. I guess it would have been called something different. Similar to the Blueberry 12 that y'all went crazy for a couple years ago, but not quite that much blue on it. I will obviously leave the picture above. Let's get down to the materials. So we do have a... Let's get down to the materials. We got a white tumbled leather, French blue mudguard, red and silver accents. Outsole is a two-tone design with red, white, and blue detailing. Also features the carbon fiber shank plate, as well as the Zoom Nike Air unit, full length. First Jordan to feature a full length Nike Zoom Air unit. In 1996, this was premier technology as far as basketball goes. So definitely ahead of his time, and obviously, I mean, he won a championship in these, so you don't get much better than that. These do release this weekend, August the 26th, 2025, for a retail price of $205. It may be $215, but I think it's $205. That's what I found. That's what Nice Kicks said. I haven't scanned it at my store or anything like that, but I can leave a comment down below of the correct price, or not. I'm not going to say correct, of the confirmed price after I get that information. I do think this is a shoe that if you want it, you need to get it now. These won't wait around. Like I said, back to school is around the corner. Is an Air Jordan 12. I'm not saying they're scarce though. There is plenty of pairs out here. You know, you could probably get a pair around 4 o'clock, which on some retros, if you wait till 4 o'clock, you're cooked. But if you get up a little late, you should be all right on these. I do still expect them to sell out though, and I think you guys should see the same thing, even if you're in a different market. You know, even if you're in a metro area and there's more pairs, I would still say that these sell out in the majority sense. I don't think resale is going to be very high, but there is just going to be an influx of kids needing back to school shoes. It's white. This could go with some uniforms, and it's a Jordan 12, so the hood is activated. But if you don't believe me, man, good luck. I'm gonna put up the prayers for you. Speaking of prayers, everybody pray for me on these pink Awake 5s. T-minus Friday, Saturday, Sunday. T-minus 3 days until August the 17th, 10 a.m. If you're watching this, I need you to try for me size 9.5 EQL at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Please, 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 please. I need those shoes, man. I need those shoes. I'm begging. Literally on camera. This is on camera. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you are actually going to enter that raffle for me, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram or leave a comment under the video at SpinSandy15 on Instagram, or right down below. And like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate all of you guys. We are on the road to 4K in 4 months. That's what we're doing. So I will see you guys on another video. My name is Spence, and I'll catch y'all.